We'll stay with those failed talks in Washington, D.C. between Democrats and Republicans, because in D.C. is Mark Bloomfield. He's the president of the American Council for Capital Formation, a Washington-based think tank. Mark Bloomfield, we'll find out what the markets think of this when they eventually open after the weekend. But tell me, what do you think the man who pumps your gas at your local petrol station would say to you if you started talking to him about this?
What are you talking about? He hasn't a clue. He's worried about getting enough money to take care of his kids and maybe go to Disneyland, but he's not going to go to Disneyland this year because the economy's short. No, he doesn't have a clue. Sequester, it sounds like some disease.
If you told him about the numbers, if you pushed him on it, would he be angry, or would he literally say, it's nothing to do with me, this isn't going to affect my daily life?
Well, he would say, my goodness, it looks like they've got trouble in Washington. Maybe they ought to cut their budget like I'm cutting mine. What did you say this is? This is $85 billion out of $3.6 trillion? This is 2%. You must be kidding. I'm actually not. I'm downsizing on the type of food I'm buying. And no, I don't get this. I've got my own problems which are more serious than this.
So do you think those Democrats and Republicans are thinking the same thing, thinking that we can score political points against our opponents because actually most of those people out there who vote for us, they're not going to take it out on us?
I think it's a good game of poker. On the one side, the president is saying, I know the way these programs work. If it goes into effect, there's going to be fewer air controllers at the airports, and people are going to be bugged by that. There may be fewer policemen. There are fewer teachers. There's going to be some low-income people who won't get lunches for their children. They're going to be very upset, and they're going to realize that my approach, which calls for tax increases, is the way to go. The Republicans, on the other hand, are also playing poker, and they're saying, what, me worry? Nobody knows about this now, and it really won't hit that many people. And it's a political gamble by the president, and the people support us and want only spending cuts. So that's the political gamesmanship that's taking place, and time will tell.
Is the bigger problem possibly that this is happening in a time of moderate growth, and that, in fact, the U.S. government's coffers aren't receiving enough money, and that if we were in a period of boom, this wouldn't really be an issue at all?
Well, it's true. With the way you deal with the deficit, and the particular concern we have is the deficit as a percentage of gross national product, it goes down if the economy grows. That's the key. Let's have a magic button and push growth. Now, the irony about this is that the deficit problem actually is a little bit less than it used to be because the economy is growing. But it still is a problem. Most people believe it's a problem, and the only question is when it kicks in.
So these cuts will begin in just under 2 hours from now. Is there some sort of emergency law that then kicks in to allow everything to continue until a deal is reached, or is that just not the case, and that they have to reach a deal to make sure that they can recover some of the situation?
Well, we have these cuts coming in place, $85 billion, as I said, out of a budget of $3.6 trillion. The problem with the cuts is that they're not spaced equally. Entitlement programs, social welfare programs, many of them are excluded. The cuts come out of discretionary spending and also defense. If you look at defense, defense is 17% of the U.S. budget, but they're going to take 50% of these $85 billion cuts. So the reality is the cuts go into effect, but what happens very shortly, on March 27th, we have to fund the U.S. government anew. And if there are things that are happening that are horrible, as they fund the new government, they can make adjustments.
OK, so March 27th will be the next time we speak to you then, for sure. Mark Bloomfield, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.